This is Singapore, a tiny city-state in Southeast Asia known for its bustling city. But even in this concrete jungle, nature is never too far away. Within the small patches of forest left in Singapore lie secrets that few know about. And even fewer ever lay their eyes upon. First thing you notice is their striking coats, and it becomes clear how they got their name. This is the leopard cat. They might not look very different from domestic cats in size or demeanor, but make no mistake, the leopard cat is as wild as a wildcat gets. We met up with Marcus, a mammal researcher who did his master's project on leopard cats.
What I find fascinating about leopard cats is that I think they've got everything that people are interested about wildcats in a small package. So just watching them hunt and stalk their prey or just moving, they're so graceful and so beautiful. They have a pale, tawny brown or orange coat, and they live in the wild in Singapore, and they're actually our last wildcat that is extant after the extinction of tigers and leopards in Singapore. My research is basically centered about two main points. One is the status of leopard cats in Singapore, how many there are, where they are, and the second point is what can we do to conserve leopard cats. To detect the presence of leopard cats, we both use a passive method, which is a camera trap, the little boxes with camera in them. If an animal passes, we get a photo and a timestamp. And this also allows us to estimate the numbers by looking at their individual spot patterns and running a statistical method through it. So we estimated an estimated number of about 21 individuals on Pulau Tekong. But population numbers are too small on the main island of Singapore to get a decent population estimate, but it's likely to be less than 20.
With such small numbers left in the wild, it's no wonder few Singaporeans have heard of this feline. Across Asia, leopard cats face two main threats: habitat loss and poaching.
I think that's one reason why the numbers are in Singapore are so small. There's such a small forested areas in Singapore.
As our city continues to develop, our forests are cleared for construction, forcing animals out of their homes and into new danger.
Unfortunately, a lot of leopard cats that we see are only as a result of carcasses, and these were killed on the roads on Mandai Road, Changi, in Lim Chu Kang as well.
There have been a number of leopard cat roadkills, one notably in 2018 in the Mandai area, where forest clearing for a new ecotourism hub is thought to have driven many animals to move around. In addition to the leopard cat, a sambar deer and pangolin were victims of roadkill the very same year.
One thing that is highly urgent right now, because the population number is so small, is to mitigate roadkills, either by connecting forested areas or having speed calming measures that would prevent leopard cats from being killed on the roads.
In the greater region, leopard cats face an even graver threat: poaching.
There is a report that it takes 16 leopard cats to make one fur coat, and they are still sold around the world, although it's highly regulated now.
And animals from other countries in the region, they actually suffer, where they are poached and brought into Singapore to meet the demand for the exotic pets here. For example, in 2018, we rescued 4 leopard cats from the illegal pet trade, just acres itself. So that does not include the other tip-offs that the agencies may get, or other animals, individuals that say the zoo may rescue as well. That was quite scary and alarming for us, and even though thankfully 2 of them were repatriated back to Malaysia, to the wild, this happened in January 2020.
Those 2 leopard cats were only released to the wild 2 years after they were discovered, during which they had to undergo rehabilitation in the zoo.
So repatriations are very resource-intensive operations, but again, it also sends a very strong signal and commitment of all the parties involved, and we are basically reversing the whole process, right? From poaching, smuggling, illegal sales, and keeping back to giving them a second chance in the wild again. So it's a beautiful thing to do for these animals, but also it is a very harsh reminder that we need to stop and end the trade itself. It is good that we could actually send 2 of them back, but we have to remember that the animals who are rescued, or the information on tip-offs that are given, it's really the tip of the iceberg. So a lot of cases do not get noticed by people, do not get reported, or the transaction already happens that it never surfaces to the agencies or groups like us. So that's why just we don't look at just the number of animals whom we have rescued. It's really a tip of the iceberg.
Although it is illegal to keep leopard cats as pets, some turn to a different feline with the same beautiful spotted coat. Meet the Bengal cat.
I am so attracted by the beauty of this cat. There's no other cats in this world that has the beauty of a Bengal cat. Their markings, their color, their personality. My name is Alfred. I am 41 years old and I'm the owner of Designer Bengal Singapore. This Bengal cat starts from 1972. Okay, the first creation of this cat, okay, by this lady called Jin Meal.
Bengal cats are the offspring of leopard cats and domestic cats. The first generation of these cats are called F1 hybrids, the second F2, and so on.
All of the cats in Singapore are all more than 5 generations away. In Singapore, it is totally against the law for you to have a Bengal cat that is nearer to the ancestor, which is the Asian leopard cat, like F1, F2, F3, F4, you know, all these are not allowed in Singapore. Singapore is very, very strict.
Even so, some are concerned about how the demand for Bengal cats may still affect wild leopard cat populations.
Where are the leopard cats coming from in the first place for you to generate the second generation? So how are these, are we aware, if I were to buy a Bengal cat legally, a designer Bengal cat, which is actually legal in Singapore, and people pay thousands of dollars to buy a Bengal cat, and one thing I would ask is, do you exactly know where your leopard cat came from? And in the process of obtaining a wild leopard cat, do you know how many of them died? Were, a litter of kittens picked up? Do you know how many of them survived? What happened to others? So these are the questions that none of us would have answers for.
So if you buy a Bengal cat, my feeling is that you will be driving up the demand for leopard cats. Instead, if you love cats, give cats and kittens from our local shelters a home.
The Singapore Wildcat Action Group, or SWAG, was founded in 2019. Their mission is to teach Singaporeans about different wildcat species around the world, especially those less known. But their ultimate goal is to raise funds for the conservation of the Malayan tiger.
I think in Singapore, most of us are very fascinated with wildcats like the lions, the cheetahs that occur in other regions, but many people don't actually know that we have leopard cats in Singapore. So the first step for SWAG is to raise public awareness about leopard cats. So we have discussed with Marcus about how we can do public campaigns and outreach activities to introduce just a general public to the existence of leopard cats in Singapore. So SWAG is working together with other NGOs and also other companies, and we will want to bring leopard cat campaign into urban spaces and also park spaces.
We'd like to invite everyone to join us to promote leopard cats, to share what they know about leopard cats with their friends and families, so people are better aware that we have this wildcat, what the threats are that they face, and how we can ensure their conservation.
Beyond just Singapore, SWAG also promotes volunteer activities that raise funds and spur citizen action to protect the wildcats in Malaysia.
All the members on SWAG, we were all cat walkers. So cat walks are a citizen conservation program that encourages regular people to go into the forest in Malaysia to act as extra boots on the ground and eyes and ears in the forest to help spot illegal activities.
We help the Malaysian Conservation Alliance for Tigers look for illegal activities in the forest. It could be snares and traps, it could be illegal mining or unlicensed logging, and help them report this to the authorities. Also, just by our presence in the forest, we are dissuading poachers from coming into the forest.
Leopard cats face an uncertain future. Between pressures from habitat loss and the illegal wildlife trade, they are on the decline in many regions. In Singapore, their situation is critical. The leopard cat population is tiny and divided into disconnected forests. This makes them vulnerable even to minor disturbances and makes every mortality especially tragic.
It's our last wildcat in Singapore after the extinction of the tiger and the leopard. It's extremely important in terms of our natural heritage as well, so we don't want to lose that.
One of the things that many people ask is that, so what is ICAS doing about it? What is NParks doing about it? What is my cat doing about it? What's the zoo doing about it? I think one of the questions that we need to ask is, what are you doing about it? Can we speak up on the issues, individuals? Can we speak up about the issues that matter to us a lot?
Singapore has already lost much of our biodiversity. Whether the leopard cat continues to stalk our forests, or whether it silently dies out like the others, is up to us.